Sometimes I like cliches. Not cliches disguised as send-ups. Sometimes I really appreciate a good old-fashioned shameless series of cliches. I like the idea of the guy racing through the city streets to stop the girl he loves from leaving town. I love the concept of two absolute heels falling in love. Rom-coms are surprisingly difficult to discuss like this. That is so refreshing to me. I appreciate the challenge found in analyzing and also championing the same tropes, cliches, and trappings over and over. Once you cover one good rom-com, you've essentially covered all the structural, compositional, political, and conceptual bases. Rom-coms are extremely devoted to formula, and that's something I actually respect about the genre. Modern rom-coms aren't all that varied in form and thought, but that's actually something I like about them. I think it's something worth looking into. One of the functions of cinema is about familiarity and symbolic interaction. If each genre of filmmaking has its own set of rules, languages, and visual rhythms, rom-com fans are perhaps the most fluent overall audience. They're also the most shamelessly devoted to their chosen genre's cinematic language because subversions and inversions, while not entirely outlandish, aren't typically as appreciated within the genre as they are when compared to horror or drama. Rom-com fans enjoy conversing with the language of comedic cliches and romantic formulas. I think the language of modern rom-coms represents something more than standard wish fulfillment and whimsical sense of safety. Rom-coms provide sweet illuminations. They provide cohesion disguised as maxims, an unbroken continuity of the watchword of Hollywood. The most interesting thing How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days does is accomplished through its battle of the sexes narrative system. Since both Andy and Ben are deliberately performative with each other and essentially trying to con the other, most of the romance and comedy is built on something that is thoroughly postmodern in concept. There is a constant disconnect between image and meaning. That's very interesting. The film investigates the question, when does an idiom become a cliché? And trust me, the film finds out exactly when that happens, and then keeps going. I can't pretend that it's a great film, but it isn't hard to say that it's an enjoyable one. Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey have good chemistry and solid comedic moments. And they look good, too. When I first saw Kate in that iconic yellow dress, I said, damn! She looks so fine, for real. I like the supporting cast, too. I always appreciate seeing Adam Goldberg, and he doesn't disappoint in the film. He was dry and hypercritical, just the way I like him. Both Thomas Lennon and Catherine Hahn contributed positively to the film as well. I thought they were pretty funny. Baby Newirth was straight up excellent. She's always great. And Michael Michelle was the film's resident bitch, and she was super hot and fun to look at, so everyone did their job well. It's a pretty fun movie. The antics were nice and the chemistry was gratifying. One of the components I like most about modern rom-coms, or at least rom-coms made in the 2000s, are the almost entirely unnecessary orchestral scores that offer a sense of heavy-handed lyrical whimsy to the pictures. I think that brand of aggressively setting the mood is admirable. I like how compositionally shameless rom-coms are. I can't help but admire them for that. It's all part of the filmic language. The cinematic grammar of rom-coms isn't about subtlety, it's all about presentation. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days was good. I liked interacting with it. I was entirely satisfied. My heart warmed a degree or two, and I definitely laughed plenty of times. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days was a pretty good film. Sometimes I like cliches, and I always like love stories.